Hello, you're watching Shalom World News. I'm Donna Villa from Chicago, USA. Here are the latest headlines from around the world. During Wednesday's general audience, Pope Francis highlighted the extreme hardship the Ukrainian people are going through. He exhorted believers to remember them in their prayers, especially as Christmas approaches. The Holy Father suggested that instead of exchanging gifts and celebrating, quote, a more Merry Christmas, end quote, we contribute the money we have saved to the aid of the Ukrainians who are currently in dire need of assistance owing to the harsh cold, lack of medical facilities, and hunger. The Vicar of Christ urged everyone to continue prayers for their Ukrainian brethren who are going through such hardship. He thanked the Polish people for joining the Family to Family Local Caritas initiative, which provides assistance to those impacted by wars and humanitarian disasters worldwide. He exhorted them to continue giving to those in need and announced that this year's collection will benefit Ukrainian families. After being found guilty earlier this month on failing to register a fund that assisted Hong Kong pro-democracy demonstrators, Cardinal Zen has appealed the decision with the Hong Kong High Court. According to a December 14 article in the Hong Kong Free Press, the 90-year-old former Bishop of Hong Kong appealed the decision this week along with 4 other trustees of the now-defunct 612 Humanitarian Relief Fund, who were each fined around $500. Cardinal Zen's trial, which lasted for 3 months from September to November, centered on whether the trustees of the 612 Humanitarian Relief Fund needed to submit an application for local society registration between 2019 and 2021. On November 25, Magistrate Ada Yim found that the fund qualified as a local society and was governed by its bylaws. According to her assessment, the fund, quote, had political ambitions and was not founded merely for charitable purposes, end quote. After a 6-year court struggle, the University of Washington here in the U.S. has agreed to give pro-life activist David Daleiden 12 years' worth of records connected to the storage and use of aborted fetuses. The University of Washington must provide complete records of its usage and distribution of aborted fetuses and their organs from 2010 up to the present, according to the settlement. The university will also pay Daleiden's attorney $30,000 in legal fees. The Thomas More Society, a nonprofit legal firm, successfully negotiated the compensation on behalf of Daleiden, who is well known for his work with the Center for Medical Progress. A lawsuit was filed in 2016 by Planned Parenthood to stop the publication of the documents, and it will no longer stand based on the agreement. The Center for Medical Progress, an organization headed by Daleiden, also celebrated the decision in a Tuesday press release. The pro-life activist promised that the group would continue advocating for more just and humane abortion and research policies. In another news development, the Nicaraguan Sandinista regime accused Bishop Rolando Alvarez of conspiracy and spreading false information on Tuesday, December 13. A vocal critic of the Daniel Ortega government, the bishop has been under house arrest in the capital Managua since August. According to a press release from the Central Judicial Complex of Managua, the 56-year-old bishop was charged with crimes of conspiracy to undermine national integrity and the propagation of false news through information and communication technologies to the detriment of the Nicaraguan state and society. According to the statement, the prosecutor's office filed the accusations with a judge of the Managua Criminal District Court. The bishop was given a public defender by the judge, who also mandated that he remain under house arrest. The first pretrial hearing has been set for January 10, 2023. The Pontifical Charity Aid to the Church in Need, or ACN, has announced that as many as 130 programs will be initiated this Christmas to support the suffering Christians in Iraq. The campaign is named Remembered War for Syria, Turn On Your Light. and it mostly comprises emergency programs. Local churches have urgently sought assistance given the population's terrible plight and the disregard of the global community. Syrian Christians have tremendous faith, and we believe that we have a great purpose as a minority, but we need your help to continue, Father Fadi Najjar, a Melkite Greek Catholic priest from Aleppo, told Aid to the Church in Need. Despite the severe circumstances, Aid to the Church in Need has chosen not to abandon the 400,000 Christians who are still present in this nation. There were 1.5 million Christians present at the start of the conflict in 2011, and now most of them have migrated en masse. The severe shortage of essential items, augmented by the crippling embargo, has made life difficult for Syrians. As many as 50 pro-life groups have warned U.S. Congress over the current administration's Intermediate Final Rule, or the IFR, which expressly authorizes Veteran Affairs healthcare professionals to perform abortions. Women veterans should receive high-quality healthcare that promotes life. Instead, the Department of Veterans Affairs has supported an illegal plan to perform abortions at veterans' health facilities in defiance of both state and federal law, prioritizing abortion radicalism. The government unilaterally disregarded the long-standing legal ban on taxpayers paying for abortion at the VA on September 9 and released the new rule that includes supporting abortion for medical grounds. Federal law can override state law. However, in this case, there is no such federal law allowing for abortion, but rather a federal law prohibiting funding for abortion. This blatant disregard for the law and the will of the people is just one in a series of efforts by the current administration to appease the demands of the radical abortion lobby, they said. Ecumenical Patriarch Bartholomew, the head of the Eastern Orthodox Church, has slammed the pan-Slavism ideology of the Moscow Patriarchate, which is undermining Orthodox unity. It is for the first time after the outbreak of the war in Ukraine that the Patriarch is giving his authoritative reading of the history of Russia and its claims of being the third Rome and the head of all Slavic churches. During a speech on December 9, the Patriarch contested the claims of Moscow Patriarchate. He accused the Russian Orthodox Patriarch of rereading history to suit pan-Slavism and supporting the military move of Russia in Ukraine. The Ecumenical Patriarch also compared it to the role of the Russian Empire in the historic conflict with the Ottoman Empire. Pan-Slavism is eroding the unity of the original orthodoxy in which the Ecumenical Patriarch is first among equals. Carl Anderson, a former Supreme Knight of the Knights of Columbus, was recognized for charity work on behalf of Christians in Iraq. When winning the 2022 Faith and Culture Award from the New York-based Catholic Near East Welfare Association, Anderson referred to his late former colleague Andrew Walther as a, quote, genuine hero in this cause, end quote. Walther passed away from leukemia at the age of 45 in 2020. After ISIS invaded Iraq in 2014, Anderson, who served as Supreme Knight from year 2000 to 2021, saw the Knights play a key role in aiding Christians and other religious minorities in Iraq. Christians in Iraq can now envision a future for themselves because of the Knights' financial help. In a speech, Anderson said Catholics should do more to alleviate the plight of persecuted Christians. He urged the United States, as well as other nations, to do more to bring attention to Christian persecution. Anderson also said that helping persecuted Christians is a mission that every Catholic should undertake. Prominent Hong Kong media mogul and pro-democracy activist Jimmy Lai will face trial in September 2023 as the city awaits Beijing's decision. This might effectively prevent him from employing a British defense attorney. Lai, who was detained in August 2020 as part of a campaign against the city's pro-democracy movement, is defending himself against allegations that he put national security at peril. According to a broad national security law enforced by Beijing, the 75-year-old founder of the now-defunct pro-democracy newspaper Apple Daily may spend the rest of his life in prison if found guilty. His high-profile trial will initially be slated to start on December, but was postponed after Hong Kong leader John Lee requested that China's top legislative body decide whether foreign attorneys who don't typically practice in Hong Kong can be involved in national security cases. Jordan has revealed fresh plans to bring 1 million Christians to the location where Jesus was baptized by John the Baptist. The Bethany beyond the Jordan region will be developed by the Jordanian government as a place of pilgrimage and prayer for Christians in time for the 2000th anniversary of Christ's baptism. The location is mentioned in the Gospel of John, and it is located 31 miles west of Amman, the capital of Jordan. A new tourist city will be built close to the site, which was recognized as a UNESCO World Heritage Site in 2015. The 6-year construction plan would cost $300 million. King Abdullah II of Jordan has given his blessing to the current site designs, which aims to protect the location and its historic past. The project is expected to be finished in its entirety by 2029, which is the 2000th anniversary of Jesus' baptism in the Jordan River. The first phase of the project is expected to be finished by 2023. The Portuguese Episcopal Conference expressed the hope that the Assembly's Friday, December 9 decision to decriminalize euthanasia may still be amended, considering that the legislative procedure is not yet complete. The measure now passes to President Marcelo Rebelo de Sousa, who has the power to proclaim it, veto it, or ask the Constitutional Court to review it. The Committee for Constitutional Affairs, Rights, Freedoms, and Guarantees of the European Portuguese approved the euthanasia measure on December 7th. Euthanasia and assisted suicide face major challenges to mankind, the CEP wrote in a note it released. The fundamental ethical rule that forbids willfully inflicting death is violated by this legislation, they claimed. After euthanasia was approved last Friday, Portuguese organizations protested the decision. The Association of the Catholic Jurists and the Association of Portuguese Catholic Physicians stated in a joint statement that the approved law covers instances involving an incurable condition, even if it's not deadly, in addition to those involving terminal illness and impending death. The iconic Sagrada Familia Basilica in Barcelona, Spain, will illuminate for the first time its towers dedicated to the evangelists Luke and Mark at 7:30 p.m. on December 16. A traditional Christmas concert will be held prior to the special moment. Conducted by Maestro Xavier Puig and performed by the Orquestra Sinfónica de Valles and the Cor Bruckner Barcelona, concert will consist of a series of Christmas carols from countries throughout Europe. The concert can be followed in streaming through the Sagrada Familia website. The two finished structures will be illuminated every afternoon from Saturday, December 17 until January 8 from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. In December 2021, the Tower of the Virgin Mary was inaugurated, illuminating the star for the first time. And those are your latest headlines. Do join us tomorrow. In the meantime, you can visit swnews.org for more updates. Shalom.